Hi everyone, it's Ginger. Um, Obviously this update is rather late, once again. Um, know that I have attempted to make this video no less than 17 times. I have made it, I have tried to upload it, I've done everything I possibly can, and for whatever reason, my phone, which is where I usually do my videos, is not wanting to cooperate with me. It just won't upload to YouTube for whatever reason. I'm going to be adjusting how I do the videos from here on out, and maybe making a little bit of changes with it. It'll mainly just be in the presentation, so um, just a heads up. So update, last time I spoke to you, I believe I was getting ready to go for ultrasound and hoping for the best. The video that I had made then, I made a couple the day I had my ultrasound, my final ultrasound, and I made one before I went. I was very hopeful, very excited. I'm actually kind of glad that things worked out the way they did and I wasn't able to upload. Um, it was I just don't think it should have been uploaded, so I'm actually pretty glad. So was very hopeful when I went in for my ultrasound that everything had cleared up. While I was on vacation, I had stopped having the discharge. My lining had gotten a bit thicker. Everything seemed to be kind of moving in the right direction at that last ultrasound. Then I went to my ultrasound. I was even more excited when I got there because the ultrasound tech informed me that there was no fluid in my uterus. So I was so excited. I didn't even make it to my car before I was making another video telling you guys how excited I was. And then later that day, I got the call from my coordinator, and I was informed at that point that yes, amazing, all of the fluid was gone. There's nothing in there. It's perfect, except my lining had decreased from a 4.6 millimeter thickness to a 3.1 millimeter thickness, which is a humongous drop. That was over 7 days. And as such, they dropped the cycle, and they were reaching out to the parents to see if they wanted to continue to work with me, since they had done 2 rounds of medications and my body had not responded appropriately. So that day was extremely emotional. I was not prepared for the emotions that I felt that day, and I absolutely did make a video about 4 minutes after I got off the phone with the coordinator. To say I was anything less than devastated would be an understatement. If there's any intended parents out there or folks looking into surrogacy, because they're attempting to conceive and they cannot, I need to give you your props right now, because I had no trouble conceiving my children. I think the longest it took me to conceive was about 3 months. And I became worried at 3 months, but not enough to, see a doctor or anything like that. I was just like, oh, maybe there's something wrong. My husband was older. We ended up conceiving and we carried a healthy child. And when I got into this, I completely understand how hard it is for parents who can't conceive and have to move to this point. I can understand the trials and tribulations and how that feels, but I didn't really understand. And I did. In that moment when they told me they were dropping the cycle for the second time, and essentially that there was a risk that I would no longer be doing this, I don't even know how to explain how let down in myself I was. I was just beside myself. I just could not understand why it wasn't working. I still don't. Why is it not working? What's wrong with me? Like, that's what I kept saying, is what's wrong with me? Why? I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix this. How is my body failing me when it's worked before? That was so difficult. I just can't even begin to explain. I'm telling you, for those surrogates who are out there watching this, it is an emotional ride when your body is not doing what you know it should be doing, and there's nothing you can do to fix it. I was absolutely devastated and so disappointed in myself, and I felt like a failure as a woman, and I felt like there was something wrong with me, and it was a very hard couple of days, and that of course that feeling of disappointment translated into other areas of my life for a minute or two there, because I felt like I was letting everybody down. I was letting the parents down. I was letting my husband down, the people at work who've been helping me with this, my agency, the doctor's office, my coordinator. I felt like I was letting everybody down, and it was embarrassing, and it was disheartening and scary, and what's wrong with me? And it was really hard. So parents, if you're watching, I'm real sorry. I know you hear that a lot, but I mean, I've only had to endure this one time, and I am real sorry, because I don't wish feeling like that on anybody at all. So I waited to hear back. Moving forward, I waited to hear back from my coordinator. They reached out to me about a week later and told me that the parents did still want to work with me at this point. And but before we moved forward with any other medications or attempt to transfer again, they wanted a full reevaluation of my uterus and the environment. I have not had the saline oophogram, whatever, the HS whatever, where they put the saline in and they take an ultrasound and look at everything and make sure everything's open and clear and doing what it's supposed to be doing. I haven't had one of those since last May, so May of 2015. So at this point it had been over a year since I had anything like that. So they wanted to go in and see what had changed in the environment. They wanted to make sure that everything was still okay, that there wasn't any polyps, there wasn't any cysts, there wasn't something else going on in there, and asked if I could have that done with my regular obstetrician, and I said of course I can. Got in touch with my obstetrician, and they got me in rather quickly, went in and did what I needed to do, and later that day got a text message from my OB, because I work with him. He says everything looks great, nothing's wrong, everything's open, there's no fluid, the lining is nice and thick. They said everything looks super great actually. So they actually informed me that if I wanted to have children of my own, I was free to do so, because there was nothing blocking my way. My fallopian tubes were open, the ovaries looked great, there were no cysts or mass or polyps or fibroids or anything on any part of my uterus, ovaries, or fallopian tubes. So right now that's where we're at. Everything is good according to that ultrasound. I sent those discs off to my clinic coordinator the next week. That was maybe about 2-3 weeks ago. Sent those off to them. They have received them, and I'm waiting to hear back from Dr. Kolb's office to see if we're going to move forward. They're going to review the discs, and they'll get back to me. In the meantime, I have restarted birth control. My life is semi-normal, and aside from all the mom and work and everything else stuff that goes along with being an adult, whoever came up with this idea of adulting, it's oh god no, it's a horrible idea. So I'm just adulting right now and doing my normal stuff and just waiting to hear back. I have my speculations on what happened before. I think a lot of it was stress. I mean, it sounds real stupid, but stress and mental stuff can absolutely wreak havoc on your body, guys. So for those of you who are prone to anxiety and stress and maybe a little bit of worrywart, do what you gotta do to keep yourself calm and chill during this, because you'd be surprised how much your head can mess with the rest of your body. And I also noticed, I went back on birth control. I told them I did not want the old birth control back. They'd put me on a different birth control, and I hated it. They're both oral forms of birth control, but I hated it. I remember the first month on the other form that they'd given me, I was not okay. I remember I went into work, and a real good friend of mine just kept asking me, "Are you alright? Ginger, are you okay?" And I kept telling her, "No, I don't know what's wrong, just something's wrong. Something's not okay." she'd be like, "Are you sure? Do kids or anything I do?" Like, she was bringing me like little coffee drinks from Starbucks, and she was so good to me. And she was like, "You know, if you need anything, just let me know." And at one point, I remember telling her, I feel like maybe I need to go to the ER because I can't put my finger on it, but I'm just not okay. Like, I'm just not okay. And it wasn't like anything physical or, specific. It was just like a general feeling of not okay. Like, I would have just, like, maybe, like, I was just disappearing. Like, I don't know how to describe it. And that stopped as soon as I got off that birth control. So, I told them that it basically made me feel like a crazy person. So, don't put me back on that. I asked them for the other stuff back. And since then, since I've been on the other stuff, it's been amazing. Everything looks great. My uterus isn't being a douche. It's being real nice to me, and it's doing its normal thing. So I'm happy with it. I'm gonna leave it alone, right like that. And we'll wait and see, and hopefully I will, excuse me, I will have, an update here sooner rather than later on what we're gonna be doing next. So, I look forward to hearing back from you guys. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, put them down in the comments, or just message me. I don't know if YouTube lets you message people. Yeah, super excited. If I see you guys in the groups, you can always ask me questions there. Or if you guys need any Facebook group recommendations, I absolutely have a whole bunch. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I have a whole bunch if you guys are looking into this and you're researching and whatnot. So, that's where we're at. Hopefully I'll have more good news and maybe one more round of medication, and then maybe we'll have a baby. Just crossing fingers. So, alright guys, till next time. Bye.